Okay, welcome to Xing Yi Academy. I'm Paul Andrews. We've had a few questions about basic exercises that can help you develop a Xing Yi body or help you with your dragon body. So I'm just going to go through some really simple exercises that I do. Sometimes I do these just standing outside. Other times I'll do them when I'm standing in front of a mirror. Full length mirror is great because you can see what's happening with your body, but it's all about trying to feel what's going on, where you're moving from, trying to get an idea of what your body feels like when you're doing these exercises. So we're going to stand with our feet about shoulder width apart and level, pointing forwards. What we're trying to do here is keep the hips pointing forwards at all times. So we're going to have a look at twisting from the waist. So the waist is from here, above the hips, to here, underneath the rib cage. So everything here, your abdominals, external obliques, internal obliques. And then at the back, you've got your trapezius running across here, your lats here, oblique abdominals here. So all these muscles are going to come into play in different parts and using different twists. So let's think about the lower waist. This is what a lot of people use. They sometimes call it a dantian area. So feel what the feedback's getting from the legs, from the upper body. So I'm going to twist from the bottom. So you see, if you look at the t-shirt and the way that it's creasing, you can see the creases are coming all the way from here. I can feel this in my hip and it feels like there's a bit of pressure going down the leg. I'm trying to keep the hips forward, so I'm having to counter rotate slightly here. So as I twist one way and I twist the other way, I'm consciously twisting from the bottom of my waist. And what I'm trying to do is move the whole upper body so the shoulders are coming round to the front. But what I'm not doing is moving from the shoulder to twist here. You see that when I do that, it's affecting the hip a lot more. I'm trying to keep the hips there. So I'm trying to isolate the body movement from the spine and the abdominal area of the waist. So I'm twisting from the base of the waist, and I'm feeling like a lot of feedback into the ground there. I can feel that pressure down into the ground. Now if I start to move from higher up, from up here, from the Zhongwan area around the solar plexus, again you see that the hips are forwards. I'm moving. I'm feeling like there's a lot more engagement in my back. It's partly because I'm more used to this movement, but partly because I'm using the larger muscles in my back. The trapezius muscles, the lats, these are going across your back in like an X from one side to the other. Quite large muscles. You see here, the creasing of the t-shirt is slightly different. You can extend as far around as possible. Now, once you get a feel for this, what I'd say is like moving from the lower, you feel it more in the legs. Our style of Xing Yi uses mobile footwork. So you want the legs to be light, which is why we raise up and we twist from higher up in the body. So hopefully you'll get a feel for that. But now, start to twist slowly at first and then speed up. Because in combat, in actual application, you need to be able to twist one way and then the other quickly. So 1, 2, like this. But start slow. Speed up. You can do this large all the way to the front or just small. Get a feel for the different ways of doing this. Yeah? Try it from the lower and the upper and get a feel for each one. Now, also, we start to use different movements, these kind of figure of 8 movements, dropping the shoulders, hooking under, using the twist as well. So before we get into that kind of thing, what I want you to feel is a bend from the waist as well. So if I isolate the lower waist again, I'm going to bend to the side. I'm bending from the lower waist. What I don't want you to do is this, where you push the hips out to the side. And keep the hips there and bend to one side. And then bend to the other side. And I'm trying to hinge just above the hip here. Yeah? So I could use the arms as well. So I'm reaching down with the arm but the bend is coming from the spine, coming from the abdominals, coming from the waist. So now that's the lower, one way and the other, all the way from the bottom of the waist. Now we'll do it from the upper, so that the range is different. So we can use all this, and we use it in various ways when we get into Xing Yi. It's not that we don't use this lower waist. In fact, we do use it quite a lot. We use it for driving the legs. Yeah. So when we step, the lower waist is taking a twist to bring the foot forwards, and then we got twists in the lower waist bringing the hip forward here. But it's the upper waist that's driving the arms and creating the striking power. It's not to say that the lower waist isn't involved. Yeah, we've got a movement in the lower, we've got a movement in the upper, but the upper is dominant. I'm just going to show you those two basic exercises again. Twisting from the lower waist, twisting from the upper waist, bending from the lower waist, bending from the upper waist. So these are what you might call Jibengong, foundational exercises, or just Neigong, internal work. But they're just really the foundations of developing the dragon body. So if you start with those, there's more exercises that can be added to that, but that's the start for now.